Already.
Okay, so this is how we're going to do this saliva testing experiments, right? The first thing we do is we have some sort of a vial, usually one vial like this, 1.5 milliliter centrifuge tube, and we have the person put some saliva into it for us. We wear gloves, we cap it, and then we put it into a freezer, preferably -70. Right now the -70 is broken. -20 is okay as well, so that's in the freezer. Alright, so we have a saliva sample in the freezer, and then when it comes time to process it, we take it out and we process it. So when we get it out of the freezer, we're going to thaw it, okay? This thing will stop recording after like 30 minutes, so always just pay attention to make sure that, and also look at the battery. Looks like
just have one question about what's the volume?
Have about, I mean, you're only going to need about 60 microliters.
60 microliters, okay.
But it's easy for them to fill it to about 500 microliters here, which gives you plenty of samples. Okay, so you're going to have that sample ready to process, right? When the time comes, usually you have a bucket of ice, and you bring out your samples, you put them on the bucket of ice, and they slowly thaw. So you get them thawed, okay? And then also, after they're thawed, it's nice to get them nice and mixed. Try to homogenize them in terms of mixing. This is a vortexer, so you use the vortexer, vortex it for just a few seconds like that, and that'll help they become more homogeneous. Now it's still going to have some chunks in it sometimes, so you have to kind of pay attention to that, but if you homogenize it, that usually mixes it up enough. Alright, so then you're going to have that sample ready. So, then you're going to have a different vial. You're going to get a second vial here. This second vial, you're going to take 60 microliters, 60 microliters of your saliva sample and put it into this vial, okay? 60 microliters of the saliva sample into here, alright? And then you're going to get dithiothiazole. The dithiothiazole is going to help unfold the protein. It disturbs the disulfide bonds, helps open up the protein in the proteins in the sample. Alright? In the freezer here we have a stock of 100 millimolar dithiothiazole. So it's kept there frozen. You get that out, you put it also on the ice, and you kind of thaw it and make sure it's thawed, and you can use it for as many samples as you're going to run that day. Alright? After it's thawed, you take 5 microliters of the dithiothiazole, right? So the one that goes down to 5 microliters, right? 20 microliter. Take 5 microliters of the dithiothiazole and add it in with your saliva, your 60 microliters of saliva sample. And that needs to be vortexed good as well. Again, anytime you add anything, you want to make sure you get a good vortexing, just for a few moments like that. And then after that, it looks like we have the heater over here. After that, you're going to put this, make sure this is on, and at, here you got a switch here, and at 70 degrees, alright? So we push start, and right now it's at 20 degrees, but eventually it'll reach 70 degrees because we have it set for 70 degrees, right? So you can set it and then you push start. And after it gets to 70 degrees, you want to leave it there for about 7 minutes. Alright, about 7 minutes at 70 degrees. And what that's going to do is allow the DTT, the dithiothiazole, to do its job and open up those proteins. Okay? So I'm going to turn this off for now because that's just a sample. We don't need to have that on. Alright? After that, always nice to give a little vortex again. And then you're going to add the trypsin. Now trypsin is a protein itself. It's an enzyme that actually cleaves the unfolded protein into little peptide fragments, okay? The trypsin is in this freezer as well. It's in this box right here. It's this brown colored cap right here, and it's just a very small volume generally in it. And you only need 5 microliters. Again, you're going to take this out, put it into your bucket of ice, and let it thaw there. And then when you're ready to use it, so usually right when you come in, you take everything out and put it into the bucket and kind of let it all thaw. And so when you're ready to use your trypsin, you're going to, again, new tip obviously, 5 microliters of trypsin and put it into the bottom of this, into the mixture. Good, mix again. Alright, thorough mixing. And then you're going to put it into the microwave, okay? The microwave allows the tryptic digest, that's where trypsin does its job to break up that protein into peptides, allows that process to go much faster. In the microwave, we want to keep some water. This isn't starch isolation, it's just water. We should change that label to just water. But you want to have at least about a half a liter of water here to kind of help absorb the heat. This is just following a protocol. It's kind of, I'm not sure, you know, if that really is how the microwave works. It's still kind of a mystery, not just for this, for a variety of things of how microwaves contribute to chemical reactions. But for now, it's been working great for us. So we just set this vial like that, and then we put it on for 2 minutes, and then we push start, okay? And after 2 minutes, this thing is ready to go. Now, you might, generally we keep it sealed and we don't have a problem, but it might pop open. And if it pops open, then that's kind of a problem, because you don't want the popping itself to have the sample splash out like that. If that happens, you can do a couple things. You can kind of just leave it open like that, and leave it in there for 2 minutes like that. It should be okay. Another option would be to get a pin and poke the top so that you have a hole in there, so that any pressure will not build up. So that's 2 minutes in the microwave, and then your sample is almost ready to go into the mass spec.
What setting on the microwave?
Just high.
High. Okay.
High, yeah. So just it's the default setting. So if you just put 2 minutes and start, it'll be right. Okay. Now after you have that saliva sample, you can always, you know, it's nice to keep it homogeneous, but you're going to have a little bit of particulates, stuff that doesn't break down, or that never broke down, because that's the way saliva is. And we don't want any of that going on the mass spectrometer, okay? So we have these little basket filters here. Take one of these basket filters, and this basket filter here has a 2 micron filter at the bottom of it, and you can transfer all this sample into that basket filter there. And then you place it right there, and you cap it, and this is ready to go in the centrifuge, okay? So, over here we have our centrifuge. It's important to use the centrifuge correctly. Here we have a lid that pops on and off. The lid always has to be on before you run the centrifuge. So we pop off the lid, we put our sample in one of the spots, and then, you know, usually there's some sort of a balance. You want to make sure right across from it, straight across, and you can count it if you're not sure which one is which, but there's a balance. Now, with these small samples, usually just a tube is plenty for the balance. You put that lid back on, all right? The power switch is over here by where the power comes in again, okay? And usually you can just hold down quick for about, you know, 15 seconds. "11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then you can let go, and then it'll spin down, slow down. And again, all we're trying to do is get the solution to move to the bottom of that little filter. All right, so
is this temperature and other things important?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not going to have enough time to do anything there.
Okay.
All right, so we can make sure we leave this thing off when we're done. Now the sample will have, what can move through the 2 micron filter will have moved down here. All right, so this is done now, and then you're going to remove whatever has moved through, and you want to make sure you at least have about, you know, 20 microliters. You can get away with just 8. 8 is kind of the minimum, but make sure, you know, the more you have, the better. So you want to get that volume out and put it into one of the sample vials. Okay, these are the sample vials. All right, sample vials for the mass spectrometer. So again, out of the bottom of this tube, I'm going to transfer 8 microliters and put it into there. Okay, the vials need a lid. Now, we have some lids around here, but the lids are abnormally expensive, so we recycle the lids. And to do that, we need to get something like what do we use? Usually I use something like a key like this, and I just kind of get the lid off like that. Does that make sense? So we recycle the lid. So we transfer the sample into here, we click that on, this thing goes in the garbage. All right, the old ones go in the garbage. This, we just pop this on here, and then after we pop it on, I'll just take one of these. No. I'll get one of these old samples up here. Well, I'm not sure which one is old, but essentially, the one with the lid on, you know, you have your sample with your lid on now. and you're going to go put it into one of the locations here in the mass spectrometer. Okay? One of the locations. So like for example, 61 here, right? That's 61, 62, 63, 71's in front there. So you can find some locations, and from that location, it's going to tell you where to run the sample here. Okay? Or what kind of, how to tell this which one to take. Okay? So that's how you get your sample all ready. That's it for the samples. After that, you're going to have to start this thing up and process the data. Alright, I don't know, do you want to go through processing the data now, or?
Let me take a pause. Just press the same button.